Great. So welcome, everyone. I am Sharon Bly. I lead health and sustainability at the Consumer Goods Forum. And I'm thrilled to welcome all of you, whether you're joining us here live today or you're listening to this in the future, to our Ask the Expert series, where we're really accelerating our efforts across the entire membership of the Consumer Goods Forum around the area of employee health and well-being. So I am thrilled to be in the capable hands and company of Roberto Bernardini, who's the Chief Human Resource Officer of Danone globally. So Roberto, a very warm welcome and a huge thank you for hosting this session today and deep diving into a topic that is, of course, very dear to us at the Consumer Goods Forum, and I know very dear to your heart and to all of the employees at Danone. So as we go through this conversation, obviously I will respect all things antitrust, as we do in all Consumer Good Forum meetings and sessions that we have. But we would love, and I know Roberto would really appreciate as well, if we can get some of your questions, if we can really have some interaction with all of you who are joining on today's session. So we're going to go through a conversation. As I mentioned, this is a hugely important topic for the Consumer Goods Forum. We've pinpointed it as one of the key areas for acceleration across the 400 members in 70 countries, and these deep dive sessions to help really understand how this topic is being driven across our member organizations is really key. So if we, let's get into the conversation, Roberto, and I think something that's really important, in particular, I see how this is driven across businesses all around the globe, is this personal piece that you bring and this personal passion that you have. So maybe we just start with that, Roberto, as what does well-being mean for you, Roberto, as a leader, and what does it mean for you personally, just to kick off the conversation?
Sharon, and first of all, thank you for having me and for inviting Danone to share what we do around this extremely important topic, as you have introduced it. So what is well-being for me? Well, I would say that it is one of the most important aspects of my life. Being well helped me to have the right level of energy and helped me to concentrate on what is important for me. It is also a concept that is holistic. It is not only related to how well you are physically, but it is also how well you are mentally or financially. And of course, it is a concept that everyone customize or tailor fit to what is important for him or for her. It is also an extremely important topic when we look at the relationship between our professional life and personal life, because as a matter of fact, we spent a lot of time professionally and integrating the well-being in what we do professionally. It is certainly growing in importance. We have been talking a lot about flexibility during and post-COVID. I think that it is a topic that has grown in importance, and I am, maybe like you, I have personally developed routines during COVID that I try to keep after COVID, and I consider these well for my well-being. A couple of them, I've been educated to work in Europe, where people work long hours, and then I moved to US when I learned that people can leave the office at 6 o'clock and it is not a shame. Well, coming back to Europe, I try to do the same and I don't feel ashamed, or at least I try to not organize meetings after 6 o'clock, which I think it is highly appreciated by my colleagues. And another silly things I'm doing, getting older and older, with my parents getting really old. I have a father that is 86 and a mother that is 80. I try, after COVID, I try to not miss any important milestone, for example, birthday for both, or ceremony for my kids. I have 4 daughters, graduations. These are silly things, but I think that these are important things that help to balance professional and personal life and help to have a better well-being.
It sets the tone, Roberto, as well. It really does role model as well, and that other colleagues feel comfortable with not missing those important occasions, and having that kind of role modeling is really, really key. So if you take that personal passion and kind of how you set yourself up as a leader, how is it important to business, and how does that kind of trickle down through Danone? I know many people listening to this conversation today, integrating and embedding that across the Danone business. How do you do that, and what does that look like?
For me, the well-being, the balance that is associated with the well-being moved to be a nice to have, to be today a must. I am personally convinced, and it is not me, there are really data that are helping us to reach this conviction. I'm convinced that well-being and the approach companies will have on well-being will make them more or less attractive, and I tend to say more or less successful. So I like data, and I like to substantiate conviction with data. If you don't mind, I would like to share a couple of them with you. One is very recent. In March, we have seen a business case study conducted by the McKinsey Health Institute. And in the report of this study, they have calculated that the health and well-being of employees at work, so higher or lower health on well-being, can have an impact between 4 and 11 trillion in economic value. 11 trillion. In terms of GDP, it can have an impact between 4 and 12% of the global GDP. Gallup years ago has calculated or has estimated that thriving employees, so employees that have a good balance, are 80% more likely to stay in a company. And the last data that is something I have read this week, so I was reading an article published by the Labour Minister in UK. So currently in UK, end of 2023, there were 2.8 million inactive. Part of them are people that do not need to work or they don't want to work. But part of them are people that are in sick leave, a long sick leave. Well, it is staggering to realize that among those who are on long-term sick leave, 69% are declaring mental health issue. So this 69%, so more than 2/3. So if these do not make the topic of well-being and balance between professional and personal life important, I don't know what we need to have more. We know that the Generation Z and the following generation give much more importance to balance and well-being than the generation I belong. So this means that to attract these people in whatever company, our approach to well-being will become more and more important. So it is, to repeat what I said at the beginning, not anymore a nice to have. It is a business topic, and it will make company more or less successful. I have little doubt about this.
I mean, the business case is clear. Listening to you, Roberto, I mean, it's undeniable. The business case is clear. And can you tell me some of the things that you feel make a real difference in employee well-being? And then I'd also love to hear from you on, you mentioned staggering figures from the UK on mental health and well-being. Can you bring in something from the nutrition pillar? So what makes a difference, and then how you integrate maybe the physical nutrition. I think you're sitting in Evian today, if I'm not wrong. And so just, tell me a little bit about the nutrition part of the work, the kind of physical well-being, and then what you really think makes a difference for people.
Good. So I start by probably telling you what is the experience we have in Danone. I would say that talking about well-being in Danone is easy, or easier than in other companies, because our mission is the one of bring health through food to as many people as possible. So if you have this as a mission for your business, it is easier to talk about the well-being and the mission of bring health to your people internally. I have always considered the health of an organization the sum of the health of each single individual, and in Danone we take these seriously. But it is important to say that this topic is in our DNA. The history of taking care of the well-being and health of our people is a very long history. We have a program called WISE, which is the program that historically takes care of the health and well-being of our people. This program was launched 20 years ago. So now everyone talk about health and well-being in Danone. My predecessors decided to make this central 20 years ago. 14 years ago, we launched another program called Dan Cares. This is a set of benefits we offer across the globe to make sure that people have the resources and the time to take care of their well-being. And very recently, last year, this is something I added to the portfolio of topics. We launched a new program called Be Well by Dan Care. So it is an addition to Dan Care, which has focused, to your question, on three particular aspects of the well-being. The nutritional. We are a food company, so we are very close to offer and educate our people to eat well and put on in the market products that have a good positive nutrition. The second one is the mental health. We were discussing this, looking at the data from UK. So we promote a work-life balance. We work on increasing awareness on these stigma, because the mental health is still considered a stigma, and to this potential pandemic. So if 69% of people in the UK in long-term leave declare mental issues, well, it means that it is also becoming a pandemic. And the last one is the physical health. So we invite people to move, we invite people to know their numbers, and with the sponsoring of the Olympics in 2024, we will double down to help people to move. So nutrition, mental health, and physical, and this is just a last leg of an history that, like I said, in Danone started more than 20 years ago.
Thank you for sharing. And as well, when we're working globally with organizations, we do drive kind of the mental and the physical part, and we have a Workforce Nutrition Alliance where I know that you've been great supporters of. So thank you. So Roberto, it's a 20-year kind of program. It's embedded in your DNA. It's part of your mission. It can't always be easy. So can you tell me some of the challenges? I know the companies that are listening, are there some key challenges that maybe you or other companies you think that are on this call today are facing in their well-being journey? And is there anything you can share when you reach those pain points or those challenges, and maybe how you've overcome some of them?
This is a great question, and yes, of course, we have challenges like every other colleagues in every other company. The main challenge is the one of creating the right mindset to look at the topic, to look at the issues the topic can create, and then decide which kind of time, resources you can and you want to invest. We said at the beginning of this conversation that there are very clear financials now that are explaining the link between healthier company and healthier business results. But even if numbers are helping us to move in the right direction, create a mindset that transform the money spent, the cost of investing in well-being into an investment. It is not an easy journey. What I've tried to do and probably here I need to refer to one of my past experiences. The passion for well-being has not ever been with me. The passion for well-being grown in importance since I've worked with Johnson & Johnson, which is another fantastic company. By the way, Johnson & Johnson had a consumer branch until a few months ago, and I was working exactly for the consumer branch. So in this company, my friend, Dr. Isaac Frick, who was the responsible of health and well-being, was pushing like hell to have the right mindset to look at the well-being topic. And he was demonstrating mathematically, financially, that investing in well-being would improve the P&L of the company. In US, Isaac was doing this, calculating the cost for the health spending cost, which is, as you know, private in this company, for the company. So, and he demonstrated that investing in well-being had helped the company to save between 30 and 40% of the normal budget. So these are, all information that should help us to talk to our colleagues that are eventually not convinced that this is the right move and the right investment. But like I said, it is not easy everywhere. In Danone, we have plenty of examples of standards that are now enforced globally. We have programs that help people to change their behaviors. We have a strong push for our leaders to create a psychological safety work environment, which is another extremely important aspect that impact positively or negatively the mental health of our people. But I can understand that this is not an easy conversation everywhere. I want everyone to understand that it is a business topic, and investing, not calculating the cost, investing in well-being has a huge return for every company in the world.
Great, thank you for sharing that. Can we talk about innovation, investing and getting the investment right, and kind of not necessarily saying investing more, but getting the right investment. What does innovation look like in this space, and what are you seeing in terms of how companies or how you're incorporating innovation into your well-being strategy?
Sharon, allow me before or as an aside topic of innovation to cover another aspect that for me has a huge impact on how serious we are in putting well-being and health at the center of the conversations in every company. We have observed an acceleration of the importance of the role of a leader, the role of a manager in impacting positively or negatively the well-being, the mental health, the health of our direct reports. And continuing to share data, there is one that Mathilde Pont, the leader working in my department that helped me to prepare this conference, shared with me a few days ago, and this is really amazing. So basically, there is a study that I will find in a second, which says that the impact of a leader on the balance, the well-being of a direct report, it is as big as the impact you have in the relationship with your partner, which is certainly one of the most important person in your life. So I think that only looking at this picture, a good behavior, a good leader, or a bad behavior and a bad leader can have an impact on our mental health, which is equal to the impact the person that spent the majority of time with us in our life. So this is a parallel that I don't want to push further, but it is a good image that is telling me that an education of the leaders we work with, the managers in our company, on the impact they have in the well-being of the people they manage, it is something that is not anymore a nice to have, it is a must. And it is for this that in Danone, for example, we decided to kick off a training program for our managers and leaders that are leader of our resources in the company, to indicate them, to equip them, to make sure that they are always looking at these aspects as a key element to generate a positive vibe and positive energy, instead of generating negative vibe and negative energy. So coming back to the, I thought this was important, and sorry, but
no, it's such a key point, and it's one thing that we really the role of managers and leaders, and kind of it's really it's a key point, and we sometimes forget how important it is. So yeah, thank you for bringing that up.
Talking about innovation, many aspects can have an impact on well-being. I think that everything that is around benefits and flexibility has a huge impact. In Danone and in other companies I work for, and that I have been the privilege of serving, we are growing in encouraging people to define and redefine the flexibility. I like having people in the office, and I think that if you want to build and continue to build a good culture, a good set of practices, a good set of rituals, you have to have from time to time people around you in the workplace. But I think also that flexibility, giving flexibility to people at different stage of their lifestyle, life stage, so when they are young graduates, or when they have the first or second kids, or when they are about to retire, it is important, because flexibility helps now more than in the past to recharge the batteries and help people to be more effective and more efficient at work. So flexibility is one of the topic. Another topic is the one of benefits. We are not all made the same. A young graduate will not value a lot a huge or a very good health insurance. He is always healthy because he is young. The opposite is for people that are eventually more advanced in their age. So flexibility and a set of tailor-made benefits are certainly two of the areas that are good to innovate and are good to offer a good set of helps, tools that can help people to have a better well-being.
Great, thank you very much, Roberto. So if anyone, if you are, I think we just have 5 minutes left. If you do have questions, don't hesitate to pop them in the chat at the bottom of your screen. I see one or two coming in. So we often kind of at the Consumer Goods Forum, we are looking kind of as an industry-wide position. Is there something, Roberto, that you would say to other companies maybe that are starting on their journey, where this feels like a big topic and it's not so easy to know where's your starting point, or how to get that kind of baseline? Yeah, any advice you would give for other CGF members who are maybe less mature in their journey compared to Danone?
First request I have is the following. If you are listening to this conference and you have good examples that can benefit Danone and other company, please share them with us, share them with the colleagues of the CGF. We do a little bit, but I'm sure that we can continue to learn from the best practices you have in your company. So this is a journey that some companies have already started. I put Danone among these. There are leaders that are followers, and some companies have not yet started. My big push to the CGF, to the company belonging or adhering to the CGF, is to either start this journey with conviction or continuing this journey with the same conviction, because this is not anymore something that we need to do as a check the box. This is a topic where we need to invest because it impacts our P&L and it impacts our capacity to attract the new generation and the one we have already in-house. And if I can do a call to action, if I can finish this chat with a call to action for the CGF, I would like us to invest more and more time talking about this topic and creating a movement around the well-being and the importance to invest in well-being. We are a consumer company. We serve millions, if not billions of people every day. I think that the company belonging to the CGF can eventually, creating this movement, be an example for other sectors. And I would like a lot that the consumer, the CGF become a reference for everyone when we talk about well-being and health in the workplace. That's my dream.
Yeah, and I love that call to action, and you're in good company. We've had the CEO of Migros in Turkey call to action on this topic, the CHRO of Exito in Colombia, now you, Roberto, and this is something that we're going to grow, this global movement. I have two questions, and we just have 2 minutes left. And if you do think of questions for Roberto after, please do reach out to the Consumer Goods Forum. I'll put my email in the chat so you can reach out to me afterwards. One is about measurement. It's a topic that is dear to the kind of the global work stream on employee health and well-being, and one that we speak about a lot. Is there something that you can share around, you mentioned data and looking at kind of your return on investment in well-being? Is there anything you can share with how you're measuring impact and how you use that data to make your decisions?
This is a very good question, and it is an extremely important thing. We want to measure everything. Well, there are measurements for measuring how effective are the investment in well-being and health. For example, your rate of turnover, people turnover. For example, your rate of engagement when you do the internal survey. Johnson & Johnson, like I said before, was measuring the cost they had on health for their employees. So there are a lot of KPIs we can use to measure the impact, the positive impact in investing in well-being. We can do a long list, but we need to start with the right mindset. If we look at the numbers to be convinced, this is not a good start. If we look at the numbers to increase the conviction we have in investing in well-being, well, this is the good start.
Brilliant. Thank you. I have another question that's come in on another topic that's come up with our global working group is on reaching certain types of employees within your organization. So looking beyond headquarters, it's how do you reach your frontline workers on the topic of well-being?
This is another extremely good question. If we think that mental health is an issue that impacts only headquarters people, we are completely wrong. Our people in the sales force, our people in the plants, which represent in Danone, 60% of the total workforce are exactly in the same camp with a big disadvantage. For them, going to work or not going to work is not an option. They have to go to drive machines or to serve clients. So there is one example I would like to give you. We are launching right now in Danone a new program called Dan Life. And this program is aiming to give flexibility to all the categories of people. We do not have yet cracked the code to announce a new news, but we are looking at pilots in the plant to make sure that we pilot elements of flexibility for blue collars. So I have nothing to share today because we are really in the infancy of this idea, but in a few months or a few years from now, if we find a good code, well, I will be more than happy to share this with the CGF.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Roberto. I could spend another hour talking to you. We've come up to the end of time. Thank you so much for sharing your your personal ambition, the ambition at Danone, and I think you've just come in on being a vocal leader, that makes a difference, that positive advocacy on this topic. And as you mentioned, there is still a lot of stigma in many parts of the world around mental health. So a big thank you for your positive advocacy on this topic and your call to action to really drive this at an industry level. So thank you, Roberto. Thank you all the team at Danone, and stay tuned for future sessions. A big thank you to you.